Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today's going to be a 2024 election. Not really prediction, I wouldn't say, but it's an election matchup, and we're going to look at who would be winning each state. So basically a prediction. But I do say a strange matchup because of this. It is Donald Trump versus John F. Kennedy. Donald Trump, of course, being the Republican nominee, running for a second term in 2024, right? And John F. Kennedy will be the Democrat. Of course, let me just edit something here. Of course, Kennedy was assassinated in 1963 during his presidency. His term ended drastically, but this is in the scenario that he never died, and he is still alive today. And he is just as young as he was when he ran in 1960. He doesn't age. So, we're going to be facing him off against Donald Trump. So, let's see. Who will win? Kennedy will win all these safe Democratic states. They will not be strongly opposed to him. He'll win Vermont and New York. Of course, this is a pretty progressive guy, John F. Kennedy, very liberal, and he is a Catholic, like Joe Biden. And I would say that Trump would hold on to these safe Democratic strongholds. He's not, this is 2024, not 1960, so Kennedy won't do very well in the South, right? The South is going to, well, no, it's, like any election, like any U.S. election right now. The South isn't going to go to the Democrats. He will win Maine just because of its eastern, Atlantic, whatever it's called. I forget. Its border, whatever. But anyway, Donald Trump will carry the state of Alaska. John F. Kennedy, he is like a really liberal guy, and he's seen as a Massachusetts liberal, and that's a lot of the reason why John Kerry lost the 2004 presidential election, because he was just seen as this liberal, boring Massachusetts Boston guy, and John F. Kennedy will be seen as, or he's going to be made out or that's how Trump is going to make John F. Kennedy look. I do think that Indiana will be a bit too liberal for Kennedy. I think that they would go to Trump. I think it would be by a tilt or lean margin. I think this would be very narrow, but I do think that Trump would carry Iowa. Again, Kennedy is a bit just too liberal. Moving up to New Hampshire, I think this would be a Kennedy state because he really does connect with these voters. He comes from Massachusetts and they're going to share many of the same values. Virginia is a very liberal state. I will give this to the Kennedy campaign. I will also give Ohio to the Democrats. I do believe that John F. Kennedy did win the state in 1960, and it's because he's going to have a very much suburban appeal, and he will take many suburbs away from Trump, and that ultimately will just narrowly, definitely by tilt margin, will lose him the state of Ohio. And he will be, I think, popular among blue-collar workers. Again, in these suburbs, I think it would be enough to carry him the state of Pennsylvania. Of course, African American voters, I think, would heavily favor John F. Kennedy, saying that he first proposed the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Black voters are going to trust him, I think, because of this, and he will be very popular in cities. John F. Kennedy, I think he will carry the state of Michigan. And I think if Joe Biden could carry Wisconsin in 2020, then I think John F. Kennedy could. He will have some rural appeal, definitely more than Biden, because Biden was so controversial. Kennedy, even though he's very liberal, he's going to be less controversial. I think that he would carry the state of Wisconsin. I also think that Minnesota, it's a very liberal state. I think that it would surely go to Kennedy. New Mexico is very liberal. Colorado is very progressive. I think that these would both be Kennedy states pretty easily. These are hard, but this is 2024, of course. But we do have to remember that so many people are going to turn out for John F. Kennedy because he is John F. Kennedy. He is just such a likable guy, especially, with his first family, all of that. And I think just narrowly this would win him in the state of Arizona. Sure, the rural appeal thing again. Rural voters will turn out heavily for Kennedy, I do believe. For these same reasons, he will be popular in cities like Reno and Las Vegas. I think if he carries both of those, by wide margins, then he would carry the state of Nevada. I definitely think he has a shot here. But I will have to say that Texas will stay in the Donald Trump column, just because, sure, his Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson, who of course would now be dead, is from here, but it's just not ready to. I'm switching it, actually. I will give this to the Democrats, because I remember the minority vote. Minorities, including Hispanics, are going to turn out very heavily for John F. Kennedy, because many Democrats lean left neo-socialism like Bernie Sanders and AOC, but Kennedy will not be this guy. He fought communism while he was president, right? So Hispanics are really going to trust John F. Kennedy, and then he has this rural vote, he has this suburb vote, he has this city vote, and he has this trusted African American vote because of the 1964 Civil Rights Bill. His African American support will be enough to win him the states of North Carolina and Georgia, for that matter. And Florida is going to have many, many cities. And these cities are going to turn out heavily for John F. Kennedy, winning him the state, I think, by a lean to likely margin. So, John F. Kennedy wins the election with 406 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 132. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all next time.